Hey, gun people. Yeah, I'm not sure on this one. I mean, they say the cops weren't chasing this guy, but
on street. I know we're on Bravo, so if we can get some of these. Oh, and he's going to lose it right here. He crashed. He's crashing. 62nd.
Okay, so the way that the sheriff's department released this footage is three teens in a stolen car crashes fatal. Guy dies. So I kind of want to go over the crash a little bit, but let's go back to when they're explaining this, and then I'll tell you what I disagree with.
County Sheriff's Office. Today, we released helicopter video of the fatal crash from Sunday morning involving a stolen...
I guess they don't have to wear uniforms now at the sheriff's department. If you're a female, you can just wear a nice top, whatever, and earrings and whatever.
...stolen Maserati and 3 juveniles. Just after 3 a.m. on Sunday morning, the PCSO flight unit was in the area of 62nd Avenue North and 28th Street North in St. Petersburg for an unrelated vehicle burglary.
Okay, here's where it gets a little iffy for me. So the helicopter's in the area for an unrelated burglary, so these guys did not commit the burglary, or they weren't related to the burglary. Somehow this helicopter is following them and knows that they stole this car and they don't own this car. That's where they lose me. How do they know that these guys did not get in their car? Now, obviously, they don't turn on the lights, they drive over the grass, and they run from the cops. But at the point this guy says he stole the car, how does he know they stole this car?
Flight deputies witnessed 3 juveniles, later identified as Mario Bonilla, Keondrick and Malachi Daniels, steal an unlocked Maserati.
They stole an unlocked Maserati. How does he know that? They're walking on a street and they get in a car. Granted, I think he has reason to believe that, but how does he know this wasn't his buddy's car? Or, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm being nitpicky here, but it just seems like a big jump to say, I see 3 guys walk on the street, they get in a car, I'm going to assume it's stolen.
Patrol deputies intercepted and attempted to stop the vehicle. However, it accelerated to over 100 miles per hour. Deputies did not pursue the vehicle. The driver, Keondrick...
So, I mean, this guy didn't use forced entry. He simply walked over to the car, opened the door, and these other 2 were like, oh shit, it's unlocked, let's get in. Now, being an auto theft guy, to me, I would assume that they probably are stealing a car. But I wouldn't call it in as a stolen. I would call it in as, hey, this car's driving with no lights, it drove across the road, I'm not sure if it's stolen, these guys just kind of got in it. Have a unit pull them over. But he puts it out as a stolen car.
Lang lost control of the vehicle in the area of 1024 62nd Avenue North, hit a curb, went airborne, and overturned. Responding deputies immediately rendered aid to the suspects. Bonilla was...
So the deputies were responding to the crash. They weren't chasing it. I got a little bit of problem with that.
Pronounced deceased at the scene. Daniels and Lang were transported to the hospital with critical injuries.
You copy you on Bravo. All right, the car's moving now. They're driving across the grass. Going to come out to 62nd Ave. 62 and Warren Street for now. Yeah.
Anytime you have a stolen car, now we used to do stops, or we would work on auto theft and say that we think it's an unreported stolen because of certain things. A clue for an unreported stolen is there's a screwdriver hanging out of the freaking ignition. Most people don't drive around with a screwdriver in the ignition to turn the key. So we're like, run the plate. It's not stolen. And we're like, it's probably unreported. Let's contact the RO, the registered owner, and ask them if they know where their car's at. And that's how we would call it an unreported stolen. This car hasn't been reported. They just climbed in and drove off.
All right, they're eastbound, just past 25th Street. Underneath the interstate, and car's blacked out.
Blacked out meaning no lights are on.
Approaching 22nd Street. Still blacked out.
If that's a Maserati, I think those cars are fast. I'm not sure. But it seems like he pulls away from these cops like they're sitting still.
Yeah, still blacked out. Eastbound, number 1 lane. Driving normal, coming up to 21st Street.
I think you're hiding behind him.
Eagle, yeah, you're behind him.
Okay, when he said you're behind him, somebody that's not a cop may not know this. When we're responding to a chopper and they're directing us in, or a plane, we don't see what they see, so we're not always sure, but we know they usually see us because either our lights are marked or whatever, or they see us pull up there, and we can talk to them. But sometimes we don't know if it's the right car. He could have been behind another car that was blacked out, so he didn't know whether he was behind him. That's why the helicopter told him, yes, you're behind him, to make sure they had the right car. Looks like there's 2 units. Engines are hot. Lots of glowing heat off the wheels and underneath the car on these cop cars. He just stole the Maserati, so it really hasn't heated up yet. Right here, I'm not sure what they did. It doesn't appear. Maybe their lights and sirens are on and this flare is not picking up their blue and red lights. I don't know.
Explain.
Alright, I've got it. I can call it. Eastbound 62nd, just passing 18th.
Look how fast this car pulls away from these cops.
Cruisers, back off. Parallel it and get in front.
Look at the exhaust on this car coming out the rear, the heat.
Cruisers, back off. Parallel it and get in front.
Okay, so here's how they got out that we weren't chasing him. Cruisers, back off. I'm assuming that's a sergeant. I don't know why he did that. There's no traffic out. It's at night. I don't know why, unless he said, hey, let the helicopter follow them till they park. We're not going to try and stop them. We'll just stay on them till they park. That may have been what they were doing. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
He's high rate. Man, he's still blacked out, passing 12th Street.
Okay, you can really start seeing him fishtailing right here.
Man, he's still blacked out, passing 12th Street.
He's sliding to the right,
No, we're on Bravo,
to the left,
see if we can get some.
and hit that curve, went pretty airborne. If you're going 100, and he might have been going more than 100. I mean, there's some physic dude out there that can tell how far he flew. You take the weight. We would call out, California has a Met team where the CHP, they're all like little science nerds or whatever. They come out there and they measure how far debris and how much the car weighs, and if it weighs this much and hit that and blah, blah, blah. And so they're pretty good at, especially on a fatality, figuring out what happened before the crash.
Some of these, and he's going to lose it right here. He's crashing 62nd, and it's going to be just shy of 10th Street on the south side of the road.
Look how glowing he got, how quick. Look at those wheels, how fast those wheels heated up.
Okay, get on. Get to the scene and roll out. Set up a perimeter.
So these cops responding both said set up a perimeter, because that's normally what you do, because normally in a car crash, everybody bails. They don't know, because it's at night and they were backed away, whether everybody's out of the car yet. And then the chopper corrects them.
Eagle, no one's got out of the car. Should be 3 of them. Let's get FD rolling. Pretty bad crash.
FD, fire department rolling. Bad crash. Yeah, kind of bad. One of them died and 2's in critical condition, and we'll be paying the medical bill, and then they'll sue the cops because they're racist, and they were just picking on them because they were black. And that'll be how this goes. All right, so I'm not sure on this one whether they're earning a donut or earning the hate. I think it was good police work for the chopper to pick it up. I still don't know how he knows it was a stolen car right away. The cops appeared to back off, even though the car left them when they were told. The sergeant called them off because they had helicopter. There's no reason to chase them if the helicopter's in the air. So overall, I mean, I think the cops did pretty good, but it is what it is. I mean, they were hauling ass, lost control of that vehicle. 100 miles an hour, man. Once you start fishtailing, it's hard to recover. All right, we'll end that there.